Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share something that changed the way I see gardening forever. The beauty of minimalist gardening. As I've grown older, I've realized that peace doesn't come from doing more, but from doing less with intention. A simple garden can be a sanctuary, a place where your body stays active and your mind finds rest. You don't need rows of vegetables or endless flowers to feel connected to nature. What matters most is the feeling you get when you touch the soil, smell the herbs, and see something grow under your care. Minimalist gardening gives you that connection without the stress or heavy maintenance. It's a path toward healing and joy, especially in later life. When I was younger, I used to have a big yard full of plants, tools, and projects. It looked beautiful from the outside, but it left me exhausted most days. I felt like I was racing to keep up with weeds, watering schedules, and endless pruning. One day I realized that I was losing the very peace that gardening was supposed to bring. So I began to simplify. I chose only the plants that made me smile, some basil, lavender, and a few marigolds. Slowly, I found joy again in tending a smaller, simpler space. The less I had to manage, the more I could enjoy the little moments that truly mattered. Minimalist gardening is not about giving up. It's about focusing on what brings you happiness and health. Every plant you choose should have a reason to be there. Maybe it's soothing to smell, easy to grow, or delicious to eat. This intentional approach removes stress and adds meaning. When you water fewer plants, you can care for each one with more love. That deep connection is what makes minimalist gardening so healing. It turns chores into peaceful rituals. And it turns your garden into a reflection of your inner calm. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. I remember the first time I sat quietly among my few pots of herbs and flowers after simplifying my garden. The world felt slower, softer, and kinder. I could finally hear the birds again, feel the breeze, and smell the earth after a light rain. That sense of stillness is something money can't buy. Gardening in a minimalist way invites you to be present in each small act. Planting, watering, trimming. You begin to notice the miracle of growth and the rhythm of nature. That awareness helps your mind settle and your heart open. It's like therapy, only natural and free. Many seniors worry that simplifying their gardens means losing beauty, but it's actually the opposite. When you reduce the clutter, your garden's true beauty begins to shine. You see each color more clearly, smell each scent more deeply, and feel more at peace in your space. Small gardens are easier to maintain, which means less bending, less strain, and more time to enjoy the results. Even if you have only a balcony or a few windowsills, you can grow life there. A minimalist garden doesn't require much space, just intention. You can create something beautiful and nourishing wherever you are. There's a quiet power in growing something simple. When you water a single pot of mint every morning, it becomes part of your daily rhythm. The act itself can be grounding, a reminder that care and consistency lead to growth. For seniors, that routine brings structure and purpose to each day. It's an act of love toward yourself as much as toward your plants. You don't have to do it perfectly, you just have to show up. That's the lesson nature teaches us through minimalist gardening, to grow slowly and steadily with patience and grace. Simplifying your garden also helps your body stay active without pain. You can stretch, bend, and move gently as you tend your plants. Unlike gym workouts, gardening feels natural, almost meditative. Each motion strengthens your body and improves balance, flexibility, and coordination. Even short sessions in the garden can help relieve stiffness and improve circulation. Plus, being outdoors gives you vitamin D and fresh air, which are both vital for healthy aging. The best part is, it doesn't feel like exercise. It feels like joy. It's nature's most peaceful form of movement. There's also something emotionally healing about working with your hands in the dirt. It reminds you that life keeps going, that renewal is always possible. Each seed you plant is a small act of hope. Watching it grow can bring comfort on days when life feels uncertain. For me, gardening has always been about trust, trusting the soil, the seasons, and the slow passage of time. Minimalist gardening deepens that trust because it invites you to be patient with less. The reward is not in how much you grow, but in how deeply you connect. Another gift of minimalist gardening is financial peace. You don't need fancy tools, expensive fertilizers, or decorative pots to make something beautiful. In fact, reusing old containers, composting your scraps, and using native plants can make your garden even more meaningful. It's about creativity, not consumption. When you spend less money, you also feel less pressure. You can simply enjoy the process, free from the need to impress anyone. The simplicity of it all brings freedom, the kind that both your wallet and your soul will appreciate. I've learned that the garden reflects the gardener's mind. When your space is cluttered, your thoughts often are too. By simplifying your garden, you clear both your environment and your mind. You create space to breathe, to rest, to think. That's one of the most beautiful effects of minimalist gardening. It mirrors the calmness you want in life. Over time, you start bringing that simplicity into other parts of your day, too. It's more than a hobby. It's a gentle philosophy for peaceful living. Minimalist gardening also strengthens social bonds. Sharing a few homegrown herbs with a neighbor or exchanging cuttings can bring genuine joy. It reminds you that connection doesn't have to be complicated. Simple gestures can nurture friendship and community. Seniors especially benefit from these moments of connection, which help fight loneliness and bring emotional warmth. A small garden can create big relationships. You might be surprised at how a single pot of basil can start a lovely conversation. The beauty of minimalism is that it's deeply personal. Your garden doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It should reflect your rhythm, your preferences, and your stage of life. For some, that means growing a few herbs for tea. For others, it's a handful of flowers by the porch. There's no wrong way to do it. The goal is peace, not perfection. When you stop comparing and start appreciating, your garden becomes truly yours. There will be days when the weather doesn't cooperate, or a plant doesn't survive. That's part of the journey. Minimalist gardening teaches you to accept change and loss with grace. Every cycle, growth, bloom, decay, mirrors our own lives. We can't control everything, but we can care for what's in front of us. That acceptance brings strength and serenity. Gardening becomes a quiet teacher, showing you that beauty often comes from imperfection. Even a small amount of time in your garden can change your mood. 10 minutes in the morning, feeling the breeze and hearing the birds, can reset your whole day. Nature has that power. The more you simplify your space, the easier it becomes to spend time in it. No stress, no long to-do lists, just presence. That's when you realize that peace isn't something you have to find. It's something you create, one plant at a time. Minimalist gardening also encourages mindfulness. When you water slowly, prune carefully, and breathe deeply, you enter a meditative state. You start noticing small details, the curve of a leaf, the smell of wet soil, the warmth of sunlight on your hands. Those small observations reconnect you to the present. They remind you that life happens right now, not in the past or future. That kind of mindfulness is deeply healing, especially as we age. As you grow older, the idea of less becomes more meaningful. You begin to understand that simplicity is not emptiness. It's clarity. A minimalist garden gives you a sense of control and calm. You know where everything is, and nothing feels overwhelming. That sense of order brings peace of mind. You can step outside, take a deep breath, and feel at home in your space. It's small, but it's yours, and it's enough. Over time, your minimalist garden becomes a mirror of your own inner growth. Each new leaf and bloom is a symbol of resilience. You'll notice that your patience deepens, your stress fades, and your appreciation for small things grows. The garden becomes more than a collection of plants. It becomes a reflection of your gratitude and acceptance. It's a living reminder that even in later years, we can keep growing in new, gentle ways. Minimalist gardening isn't just about plants. It's about creating harmony between your body, mind, and surroundings. It's about slowing down and finding beauty in simplicity. It's a gentle rebellion against a world that keeps telling us to do more, have more, and rush more. Seniors especially can benefit from this slower pace, finding joy not in quantity but in quality. Your garden becomes your sanctuary, a place where time moves kindly and quietly. In the end, gardening is not about the size of your space, but the size of your heart. When you grow something with love, no matter how small, it grows meaning in your life. A minimalist garden helps you focus on that love, free from distractions. It becomes a way to heal, to reflect, and to celebrate life's simple gifts. And maybe that's what we're all looking for, a peaceful place to just be. Thanks for watching. I hope this story encourages you to create your own small, healing garden. Remember, peace doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing what matters most. So, plant what you love, care for it with patience, and let your garden remind you